how are we tying that together, making sure we're measuring those metrics, those KPIs that are going to get us to the outcome?
Yeah, it's a great question to ask because I find that the term outcome gets misdefined frequently. For marketers, the outcome is, well, I got you an MQL. No, that's not an outcome. That's a step. The
Mhm.
outcome is a sale and a customer relationship, right? So I like to work from the customer backward. I like to work from the sale backward. And I like to ask if I could, make a sale with one phone call and then be done, I would take that. That's not going to happen. And it's a fun thought experiment. So what else do we need to do? Let's build up from there and ask ourselves, okay, in addition to one phone call, what else might we need to do for a sale? And let's go ahead and put those activities in place and let's go measure those things. But always being measured, I believe, through the full funnel, right? Through the entire process, because the idea, and this continues after with the infinite loop, right? You want to measure attrition. SaaS companies know all about this, right? The idea of
Yes.
churn is huge. So you definitely want to be measuring that. And that's part of the reason why you want to be keeping up with customers who wouldn't want to, lower that figure. And so frequently when I look at younger companies, startup companies that are, maybe having some success and they've got some sales under their belts. A good example comes to mind a few years ago, a company in the cloud data storage space. I worked for them, ran worldwide marketing for them, and I came in and said politely, "You're doing this all wrong, and here's why." And it didn't go over well because they were tied to a very sales-oriented culture and a very sales-oriented model. And they were, in fact, making sales, and they were, in fact, nurturing their customer relationships very well, to their credit. But the cost of sales was so high, it was unsustainable. And we had raised a $25 million Series B, and I was brought in as part of that, and I had a responsibility to reform these numbers. The funders were very clear about that, the venture capital group. So we took a look, we broke down the entire funnel, and we saw that the customers preferred by sales tended to come from shows, and the shows were very expensive propositions. And I put in place, they'd never done before, believe it or not, a very simple webinar routine, right? We said, well, we're gonna do virtual events. You like live events? Let's do virtual. Let's see how it goes. And it was not just one order of magnitude, it was two orders of magnitude cheaper to acquire a customer through webinars than it was. I'm talking a customer, not a lead, than it
Yeah.
was through these live sales. That's compelling data. And if we were only to look at the leads and say, well, we get a lot of leads from the shows and we don't get nearly as many leads from the webinar, we might stop and say, well, we should do more shows, right? But measure the proper thing and you see suddenly that it was very inefficient.